Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Mantho, and sorry if I sound a little bit, tired. I just woke up and I was like, I wonder what I should do for a video today. And then I was like, oh, I think I'll do a guide, another DK guide. People have been wanting me to do a DK guide for a while, and just see what I do. Because my last guide was a little bit off, but I think I can get this one down better now that I know how to kind of communicate more, I guess, in a sense you would say. But okay, so let's start with like opener. Okay, so what I do for my opener, you could do your opener several different ways. So let me see if I can show you a few here. So you can either, while you're ranging, this would be for maybe a hunter. Okay, so you're doing like 4 Howling Blasts, and then you go in for 2 Plague Strikes, and then a Howling Blast to get your runic up. And then you want to like Pillar, and then just Frost Strike them. That's all you have to do. And then another build, or another opener would be, this would be more for like a warrior, or another Death Knight, I guess. So I will Chains of Ice, Howling Blast, and then I'll Chains of Ice. Because when I Chains of Ice, it roots them if I'm running Chillbanes, and Howling Blast to get more runic and more damage in. And then after I do that, I go in for some Plague Strikes, and then Frost Strike Dump. And that's basically it. Also, you could open with 2 Plague Strikes. This would be maybe a faster way to building up your stacks. And then once you get to runic from here, then pop your Pillar and Frost Strike Dump. And now for healing, what I usually do is just keep in mind, guys, that everything in PvP doesn't really go as planned. So since everything doesn't go as planned, everything is not going to work out like you always do, or as you always wanted to do. So let's see, I don't have dots up, so I'll get my dots, and then I'll do a Death Siphon. And there's multiple ways that you can heal, guys. So as you can see, I'm out of runic right here. And whenever you guys Frost Strike, you get your runes back faster, guys. I just want you to know that. And also, with Blood Tap, it'll give you your runes back as well once you reach the 5 stacks. So while you're healing, here we go. We got 2 Death Strikes, 2 Death Siphons, and now I'm on a Frost Strike. See, I got my runes back, and now I can just go back to healing. And while I'm doing this, I have my dots on my target, so I could just Plague Leech and go back to spamming Frost Strike. This way I can keep my rotation going. And also, to get big heals off, you can pop Lichborn and Pillar of Frost. These increase your heals by a lot. So let's see right here. Look at this. Look at this. 100k. That's not a normal everyday heal you see. 200k. What in the world was that? Yeah. So if you pop Pillar and Lichborn, you're gonna heal a lot more because you're bursting, which increases your heal. And with Lichborn up, it gives you, I think, 10%, 10% leech, and it'll make you immune to fear. So you're healing and you're immune to fear. Now, there's multiple ways you can heal. As I said, you guys can obviously like figure them out, but like I said, everything doesn't really go as planned, so I usually do like 2 Death Strikes, 2 Death Siphons, and this might be a little bit off of what you guys might see me doing in-game, because what I do in-game, like I said, doesn't go as planned, and I have to rotate my stuff a lot more, and there's just multiple rotations you do for PvP, there's not one specifically. So let's go to, well, one thing I want to point out real quick. Sitting in Frost Presence is probably the best thing, guys. You build up the most runic and the most runes, like faster, and this way you can keep dumping heals and damage. And this is, amazing for us because Death Knight, in order for a Death Knight to go offensive, they have to be offensive. What I mean by that, guys, is, so let's say I'm fighting a Feral and there's pillars. I can't, and he has bleeds on me, I can't back away to heal, because I need to be on my target to heal. So I need to go offensive to get to him in order to play defensive so I can heal off him. And so if you go to Blood Presence, yes, you will be more tanky, more health, but you won't be generating runes and runic as fast. Alright guys, and now for talents. So for your first tier level 56 talent, you want to be running Plague Leech. Unholy Blight is not helpful because you're already putting your dots, and that's what this talent does. Plague Barrier, I honestly don't even know what that does, I just know that it's not good. Purgatory is just a no-no guys. If you roll Purgatory, you already lost, honestly guys. You just go immune at 1%, you absorb all healing, which means as soon as you're out, you're dead. Anti-magic zone, I guess goofy fun maybe, but I would not recommend this. It's really not that good. Lichborn, definitely the way to go. Gives you more healing, immune to fear, charm, sleep, and it's just overall the best. The healing and the getting out of fears, it's definitely a lot more helpful than these other two talents here. Third tier, Death's Advance is not very good. I mean, you don't really need to catch up to your target when you can just like chains Vice Stem and chains Vice and grip, and you can, for the most part, stick on your target unless they're pillaring you hard. But you really don't need this. Okay, so Chillbanes is really good, but so is Asphyxiate. Chillbanes, you can get, I think, 2 to 3 roots off. Also, your frost spells slow, and that's really helpful because everything that you have is frost spells, so that means that they're always slowed. Another thing, when you're running Chillbanes, you have a silence, which is right here, so you can focus silence. So let's say I'm running with a Feral Druid, which is what I run, Ebola, and so I run Chillbanes. I don't run Asphyxiate because I know that my Feral is going to triple stun and then I can silence out. This would be for a healer, but it also works for DPS. So my Feral will go in 1, 2, 3 stuns, and then there's no point in me running Asphyxiate because if I try to stun, he's going to be immune because he's totally DR'd. So I run Chillbanes. This way I can silence off of his stuns, and then if he trinkets one of his stuns, then he just gets restunned into a silence and he's dead. So Chillbanes is a really good way to go, but so is Asphyxiate. So Asphyxiate, let's say you're not running, or you're running with a class that doesn't really have many stuns, maybe a Hunter, a Shami maybe. Maybe here you want to run a stun, or for a 1v1, just keep in mind that you do lose that range silence. So it's up to you guys. It really depends on your scenario and what you're going against and who you are playing with. For your 4th tier, okay, your 4th tier you can run either Runic Empowerment if you don't want to deal with the Blood Tap. This one is pretty good. Runic Corruption, I'm pretty sure you could use either of these, guys, if you don't want to. I forget what they do, I'm too lazy to read them right now, but Blood Tap is definitely the way to go. Whenever you are dumping your frost strikes, so you're, let's see, right here, you're bursting, right? Okay, so you're building up your runic, runic build up. Alright, so you're up on runic, right? And then you're gonna frost strike dump right here. Frost strike, frost strike, frost strike. And look, I just hit 5 charges of blood tap, and I got my runes back. This is really helpful to keep your rotation going, as healing, offensive, defensive, whatever you can think of. It's overall the best. And if you guys don't know, I will give you a macro later on. I will go over the macros that I have once again because, you know, I'm just making a better guide. And now for tier 5th talent, you don't want to run Death Pack. Yes, it is a big heal, but it makes you absorb some of that damage. I mean, not damage, but healing, which means you have to over heal the absorption and then you're able to heal, and that's just too much work, guys. I guess you could run that maybe if you're running with a healer. Death Siphon is definitely the way to go though. It's a range and it heals you for a lot. You can constantly use it. Death Siphon, Death Siphon, Death Siphon. Look at that. And then here, if I had my Outbreak up or just dots, I could Plague Leech, Death Siphon again. Oh, look, another Death Siphon. It's ridiculous, guys. And they heal for a lot, especially if you have your Pillar and Lichborn up. Conversion, it's I don't think it's a good heal anymore, plus it takes your runic that you need for Froststrike dumping, which is the reason or how you keep your rotation going. So conversion is definitely probably the worst way to go. I definitely do not recommend this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 tier talent. You want to Gorfine's Grasp, let's see. So there's a little trick that you could do. It's this Gorfine's Grasp is really not helpful, but there's a little trick that you can do. So I'm I really don't recommend this talent, but if you guys do not know about this little trick and you just want to run it for some reason, so you could get a Death Knight Glyph that is Death and Decay, makes your Death and Decay slow. You can run Gorfine's Grasps. This is for battlegrounds, guys. None of this is in arenas and whatnot, because this is completely garbo. But it can be some fun in BGs. So you Gorfine's Grasps, and then you get that glyph that slows from Death and Decay, and then so you go to the big pack of Horde or whatever alliance, wherever you're at, and you grip them all in, and then you Death and Decay right on top of them. This way they're right there stacked on top, and they're slowed. And then your team is around them, you know, just cleaving them down, and I mean, you win for the most part because they're stacked and you're cleaving and they can't really do anything. Remorseless Winter, definitely not the way to go. You already have a stun if you roll with it. You have Chillbanes, which slows, and it's just, it takes way too long to get the stacks up in order for this stun to go off. Also, you can range Remorseless Winter, so definitely not good. Desecrate Ground is definitely the way to go, guys. It's like a trinket for 10 seconds, and you have a little area that you can kind of like run in. Let me see right here. Little circle, and like in this whole little circle, I'm immune to all CC for 10 seconds. That's a lot, guys. That can be a big game changer, guys. I'm like not kidding. That could take you from a loss to a win. That trinket, because it's not like just this trinket right here. I trinket and I'm out of CC, another poly. Okay, so I get polyed, I desecrate ground, they try to repoly me, I'm in the desecrated ground, so I am immune. They try to clone me, I'm still in it, nope, I'm immune. I cannot be CC'd or slowed, anything in there. It's the best way to go. Okay, last tier here, which is 7th tier, I believe. I think, yeah, 7th tier. Okay, Necrotic Plague. This is definitely the way to go, guys. Because you have your stacks, right? And these stacks, after they get really stacked up to 10, 15, whatever you get them, they hit really hard. And also, once you have your dots, all you really need to do is just throw your regular rotation in there, and you have all your dots in there, which means you can just Plague Leech. And then if you're not running this, then you have to do some other like shenanigans. I don't even remember what you have to do to like put up your dots. And it's just a struggle. This way, it's so much more damage, upfront damage, and like overall damage in the long run, and it just helps a lot more. Defile, why would you even run this? Just don't. Breath of Cindergosa as dual wield, it's not good, guys. It takes, like, once again, like conversion, it takes the runic that you need in order to keep your burst going and rotation going, and it's really not helpful. It might be more like damage up front because, you know, it's a really big burst, but then in the long run, Necrotic Plague is way better. But if you want to just have some goofy fun, Breath of Cindergosa, do whatever you want. But for arenas, maybe some serious PvP, definitely don't recommend it, guys. Okay, Glyphs. So you want to be running Empowerment because it heals you and it gives you all your runes back. That one is 100%. This one is also a 100% glyph. These two glyphs, you need them. So this one, whenever you're slowed, you're building up runic, which is amazing. I mean, you're always building up runic, so then whenever you grip your target, you stun him or you root him, then you can just dump out your frost strikes. Boom, 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 and they're dead. But for the third one here, you can have multiple. You can have, I like to run anti-magic zone, or not anti-magic zone, dude, don't run that. Anti-magic cell glyph to make it longer. So let's say I'm getting bursted on by Electro-Light, I use AMS, they're like they can't get a chaos bolt on me for like 7 seconds because I'm sitting there just absorbing all their stuff for 7 seconds, which is longer than like 4 seconds, and this could help me a lot to be immune and keep me going offensive. And let's see, another one that you should run for certain comps. AMS and Icy Touch are for certain comps and whatever you're fighting. Icy Touch dispels, so let's say you're fighting a priest, you're just here Icy Touch, you're taking all those buffs off, you're taking all the bubbles off, and this way you know you and your partner can just nuke them down without them being able to really keep themselves up. Another one that you can use for this third one here is Shifting Presence. Like I said earlier, guys, going blood is really maybe not what you want to do. It depends what you're fighting. I could see if you're fighting a Pharaoh, maybe it would go blood, but honestly, guys, in my opinion, I think blood is just really not the way to go. You get way more heals in Froststrike, or in Frost Presence, like I said earlier, but for this here, you can run Shifting Presence if you know that you swap from Blood to Frost Presence a lot, because if you do it without this glyph, so let's just build up some runic right here. Look, I have some runic. I'm sitting in Frost right now. I swapped to Blood, all my runic's gone. Swap to Frost, I still don't have any runic. And what this glyph does, basically, if I have runic and I swap to Blood Presence, or if I'm in Blood swapping to Frost, I will keep some of that runic. So if I have 50 runic, I'll maybe keep 30 runic, I believe. And this glyph, if you swap a lot in going offensive and offensive like that through presences, this glyph is definitely the way to go, so you can keep being tanky and going offensive. And let's see now, guys. So we'll go to macros. So macros, where are my macros? Okay, macros right here. So basically, okay, dude, I can't talk. What I have here is my Pillar of Frost, and I have some other toys in there, and usually what I yell, bring the memes, you know. But what you want to have is your Pillar of Frost and your, didn't mean to open that. Your Pillar of Frost and your on-use trinket, the Badge of Victory, because versatility plus your Pillar of Frost is a lot of damage added up, guys, and they're both on a 1 minute cooldown, which is amazing. So I think, okay, if you run, oh wait, actually that's, yeah, okay, so if you run Strangulate, and you do use focus macros, this is my focus silence macro. So let's see, I'm targeting this guy, I have this guy in focus, and boom, I silence this guy that I'm not even targeting. And that's really helpful, you know, if you're fighting a healer DPS comp and you're going on DPS, you want to silence a healer, just put him on focus and boom, silence, and you're still going offensive. This is my focus mind freeze. So again, I have this guy over here in the middle on focus, and this guy that I'm whacking right now targeting, and I'm just gonna, oh, there we go, and mind freeze, you see, not even targeting him, and you know, that's really helpful. Alright, and here we go. So Dark Simulacrum. Dark Simulacrum, basically, if you guys don't know what it does, if I'm fighting a paladin, a red paladin, holy paladin, doesn't matter what spec they are, because they all have bubble, but I know they're about to bubble because they're at like 15%, they haven't bubbled yet, and they have nothing left, and I'm going offensive, maybe I'm bursting, and I know they're gonna bubble, maybe bop, I'll put Dark Simulacrum, and just take it for them, or from them. And I usually have this for just my focus because my regular target one is right here. But I have it for focus because when I'm doing threes and I'm going offensive on a DPS and there's a druid, resto druid in the back just cloning, I want to go ahead and take that clone, dude. I want to take that clone and clone someone on their team back, you know, get that payback clone on them, because I don't want my teammates to be cloned and, you know, cause that to lose. I want to win. So that's my focus Dark Simulacrum. And I also have a Death Grip, a focused Death Grip. This way, if I'm fighting a healer DPS comp and I'm on the DPS and the healer is way in Africa and I don't have silence or anything for him, my partner doesn't have CC, I'll just go ahead and grip his heal, and then maybe we could swap to him or do whatever we need to do from there. This is my Strangulate slash silent. No, strangulate slash asphyxiate macro. So basically, all this is right here, guys, is I open up my talents. I'm running strangulate right here. This one you don't really need to copy, by the way. It's not as needed. I just use it because I'm lazy. So this one, what it does is, you see I'm running my silence right here. This is the macro that I have down there. And then, so if I swap to asphyxiate, look, boom, it swaps out to asphyxiate right here instantly. And I swap back to this Chillblains right there, and boom, and I'm back into strangulate. This way I don't have to, you know, swap and then drag it down here to my bars. It's just, you know, for lazy people like me. And so this is the last macro that I have for Frost Decay. As for Frost Decay, we really don't need many macros, as you guys can see. I mean, we're faithful, honestly. Let's be honest, guys. We're like almost the most OP class in the game for 1v1s and world PvP. We're super overpowered, guys. So here, what this one is, as I showed you guys earlier, when I'm building, or when I was talking about blood tap. So let's see, I have some runic right here, and let's just get the Fool. Alright, so whenever what this does is cast Frost Strike. So let's see, I'm casting Frost Strike right here. I just got full runes, or blood tap. You see I'm at 5 right now. If I hit, look, I can't hit Frost Strike because I don't have enough runic, but I do have 5 charges. And I usually count my charges in my head, like 1, 2, 3. Usually 3 Frost Strikes, I think 100% of the time, is your charges. So I hit Frost Strike again, even though I can't hit it. So let's see right here, blood tap, and okay, it's not working. Oh, because I don't need runes. Funny. Okay, but there you go, guys. So you see, I needed some runes. Let's see, it's built up right here, some runic. So I don't have runes, and boom, and I got my so let me just explain it more. So while I'm frost striking, my blood taps are also being used. So this way I don't have to have 2 separate keys, so I don't have to like put this there, and I don't have to be like building up my runic and then hitting my mouse button in order to keep doing my blood tap. This way this macro would do it on its own. It'll frost strike for me and it'll blood tap for me. Again, this is for people that are lazy just like me. Alright guys, so let's talk about the gear that you need. I have 710, or not 710, 712 item level. 710 is what you would normally have if you have full conquest gear, but you know, I had to step up my game, you know. I bought these rings and neck piece that cost me about 100k total. They're probably going up and up in price right now, guys, because people are finding out that Death Knights need these rings, and like a lot. They need them a lot just to boost up their game. And basically, this neck and these rings, they increase all my stats right here. So this is my conquest right here. So it just makes me lose some crit, but look, 34 mastery more, 144 more versatility, 14 more strength, and it's just overall way better than the regular conquest ones. But of course, this is if you can afford this, guys. I had to farm really hard for these. I probably shouldn't have, but I don't know why I did, and I just wanted them. And I think I noticed a difference, guys. They're really good. And what you want to be stacking, guys, is mastery. Mastery increases all of your frost damage by 63%. So you're dumping your Howling Blast, Frost Strike, and Mastery is helping you get those bigger crits out there. And after Mastery, you want to run Versatility. It decreases the damage that you take, and it increases your damage and healing done. So this is definitely Mastery and then Versatility, so you get that extra healing and more armor, I guess, and more damage. One more thing that I want to talk about is when to use Obliterate. I get this question a lot as a Death Knight, and people are like, when do I use Obliterate? Do I even need Obliterate on my bars? And I just tell them, yes. But personally, guys, I do not use it. Don't tell them. I do not use Obliterate. I tell them to use Obliterate because most Death Knights are going offensive when they're using AMS. And or when you're fighting, let's say I'm fighting another Death Knight, and he pops AMS, and I'm trying to go offensive, that's why he popped AMS, so he can reduce my damage with Frost Strike because it's magical. And if he has AMS up, my Frost Strikes do not go through his AMS because his anti-magic shell, absorbs magical, and Frost Strike is magical. And here, what you want to do is, if they're running the glyph right here, like I do, versus a Death Knight, so they cannot get that big burst off. So here they have AMS. You're trying to go offensive. Here's when you would obliterate, guys, because obliterate is not a magical spell, and it gives you a lot of runic. Like, believe it or not, I think it gets you more than any other spell. So it can be helpful, but it does not do as much damage as Frost Strike. So that's why when a Death Knight has AMS up, I just try to take advantage and do some Frost Strike, or not Frost Strikes, Death Siphons and Death Strikes to build up my runic and keep myself topped off, guys. But you can go either way. You can either, whenever a Death Knight goes offensive, or yeah, whenever you're going offensive and another Death Knight has AMS, you can either obliterate to break through or go through that AMS, or you can use your Death Siphons and Death Strikes and Plague Leech and Plague Strike, everything else to build up your runic and keep yourself topped off. And that's the only class that I really do use Obliterate on, if I ever even do. Alright guys, so last but not least, basically, I'm going to be going over when you should use Chillblains or when you should use Asphyxiate in 1v1s. So let's start off with Warrior. Against a Warrior, you would probably run Chillblains so you can kind of like root and kite their cooldowns and defensives, and kind of go offensive with your Howling Blast, and then whenever their cooldowns are down, just grip and go ahead and go offensive. And next, let's go with Hunter. So Hunter, I would probably run Stun, because what you want to do against a Hunter in a 1v1, you want to go ahead and grip and then stun, if I could speak please. And so you want to grip and then stun, and then they're probably going to trinket that because they know they're going to take a lot of damage. And then next setup, if they trinket that next setup, you can grip and stun again, and then you can go ahead and burst. And this way they really have nothing to get out of it, and this is where you kind of confirm your kill and they can't really pull out. So next, Rogue. As a rogue, or against a rogue, I would probably run stun as well, not Chillblains, because yes, you can root them, but after the roots are DR'd, you try to slow them and they're just gonna burst the speed out. So I would just run stun, guys, just like that Hunter. You get their trinket and then you go ahead and go offensive. Okay, against a Death Knight, I would go Chillblains. Chillblains because I can root, I can kite, and I can silence. I don't know if you guys know, but if you silence a Death Knight, they can't use a lot of their abilities. Also, if you try to stun a Death Knight, they have a million trinkets. I have, alright, let's be real, I have 3 trinkets. So I have 3 trinkets, and, by that time our duel is really going to be over, Death Knight versus Death Knight. We both really go offensive with that big booty deeps, so I would run Chillblains to get kite and, kind of keep yourself ahead of the game. Against a Druid, Boomy, or Feral 1v1, I would say go stun. Because again, they can shapeshift out of your roots and your slows. The silence is good, but I don't know if it's worth losing that stun. You want to get that stun, make them use their trinket, and then wait for that stun again, and then go offensive, and then you can confirm your kill. Against a Windwalker Monk, you want to go stun. I've dueled Fury on this monk multiple times, and I figured that running stun is actually better, because I can run Chillblains, yes, but in the end I can't really catch him. I just can't. It's a monk. They have so much more mobility than Death Knights. So as a Death Knight, I just have to run stun and get all his trinkets and then stun again and then burst. It just depends on what class they are, if they can live or if they cannot after that trinket. Against a Shaman, guys, so Elemental, I would probably go Silence, just because, they can't really get anything off. And then make sure they don't grounding it though, guys. Against an Enhancement, I would probably go Stun, just because, you know, a silence doesn't really, I don't think it does much for an enhancement, and a stun definitely does. Again, getting their trinket and going offensive against a warlock. So let's start with demonology. Demonology warlock, I would definitely run stun, because again, you get their trinket and then you burst. They don't really have that much offensives as a demonology. Yes, they can heal a lot with their drain life, but you can interrupt that. You can burst through that as a deathling. Destruction warlock, I would probably run, honestly guys, I would probably run silence here. Just try not to silence their lock them on fire, because this gives them a free ember. You never want to do that. And if you lock them on fire, they can either free chaos bolt on you, or they can heal up without casting, because you just gave them a free ember if they have the force set. And then for affliction, oh whoa, my guy's flying up in the air by himself. Okay, for affliction, you want to go silence. Again, you can silence them and just go offensive, because they're probably not going to trinket a silence. There's not many people that do trinket a silence unless they panic. So you want to just go ahead and run silence against an affliction and nuke him down, because you also want to try to avoid some of that damage. Against a mage, definitely silence, guys. They can just blink out of your stun, and that's enough said. Against a priest, I'm going to go with Shadow Priest. You want to run silence because, you know, you're silencing their abilities, and yes, they can trinket, but remember that you have multiple silences. You have Brain Freeze, you can't fear, or you cannot be feared. You're not Brain Freeze, Mind Freeze. So silence is just what I would run. Against a Paladin, I would probably run stun. Again, it's that same thing, getting their trinket and bursting them down. Also, make sure if you're fighting a paladin to Dark Simulacrum. If you're going offensive, Dark Simulacrum. They're either gonna bubble or bop, and this way you can take it as well. You can pop some defensives and heal up. Alright, for set bonus, guys, you want to be running the 2-set bonus. The 3-set bonus, yes, it's helpful, but you lose out on a lot of mastery. Like I said earlier, you want to stack on a lot of mastery, as much mastery as you can. So you just want the 2-set bonus, because you also get mastery, and your death grip increases your next attack by 25%. So let's say I'm trying to go offensive, and I'm just gonna death grip, and then I'm just gonna frost strike right there. That's a big frost strike. That's probably gonna be my biggest, and then I'm gonna frost strike again, but it's not gonna be as hard, because it's just that one first initial death grip strike that's gonna be increased by 25%. So just go, you know, go offensive. Don't grip and hit like a death strike or something. Alright guys, so basically what I'm going to show you here is my Death Knight burst, and kind of like rotation, what I do when I'm going to burst. And I hope you guys, like, if you guys do not know where my, like, you can see my spells, they're right here above my character plate, so you can kind of like slow down the video, pause it whenever you want, so you can see how I burst. So I'm gonna stop talking and you know, just put some music over this part so you guys can see me do my burst. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this guide helps you guys out. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I'm sorry that this guide was so long. I don't even know if like half of you guys are watching this far, but sorry that it was very long. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but you know, it's what it is, and I had to get through what I, you know, didn't last video. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope this guide helps you guys out. See you later.